Hello. In this video, I'm going to take you through a very detailed step-by-step um, processes that you would have to go through in order to do your transition effectively. I know there are many of you who are out there who are seeking to do your transition so that you'll be able to return to the motherland. So this is a video that I have designed for all those who are in the diaspora who want to return back home. When you follow this detailed plan that I'll be putting forward, you guarantee yourself of success in your transition. It is possible for you to do your transition. You just need some education and knowledge. But before I do anything further, I would appeal to you to subscribe to this channel. My friend, it's not going to cost you anything. All you just need is to click the subscribe button and then like the video. By doing this, you support the channel because it is by others also subscribing and liking the channel that has allowed the channel to grow and to reach people like you. And by you also doing similar, it will enable other colleagues of yours who are also thinking about trying to relocate back to the country so that we build this continent to have access to materials like this. So kindly pause, like and subscribe, then continue the video. So first of all, you need to know that it's going to take you about 3 years for you to do your transition effectively. I'm saying 3 years because it's not a process that would want to rush it. It's a process that will want you to do it the right way. Okay, so it's going to take you 3 years, and in that 3 years there'll be various steps and actions that you would have to do, which I'm about to take you through. But I need you to at least know that it's going to take you 3 years for you to do your transition effectively. You can do it, much earlier than that, but trust me, by doing it 3 years, you guarantee yourself of actual success. So the first thing that you will need to, which I will need you to write down, which is the most important thing and step that you would have to take, has to do with you have to prepare yourself mentally for what is to come. It's more important than any other thing in terms of the step that I'll be giving to you. You're about to engage yourself in a very, very complex and a very, very also rewarding journey. Okay, it's a life-defining journey. You transitioning from overseas and coming to live in the country, and also guaranteeing yourself that when you come, you'll be able to stay permanently and live the kind of life that you want to live. So it's not something that will be rushed. But like I said, you need to prepare yourself mentally. You need to know, first of all, why do you want to return back to the country? You need to come to terms with it. Why do you want to return? Because if your why is not that strong, trust me, when challenges begins to come, you will run away. Okay, so you need to understand, why do you want to return back to the country? It's something you need to ask yourself. Okay? Then after you have come to terms with that, you also need to psych yourself in terms of what it takes to run a business. Because there's no way you will come to this country and be seeking employment in Ghana. It will not work for you. It's actually something that does not work for us, we those who are living here, because the salary system in Ghana is nothing to write home about. I've done videos which makes it very clear to you, let you know that the system that works in Ghana has to do with operating and running a business. And for you, a diasporan seeking to come home, you need to begin to psych yourself. Because running a business is a totally different ball game to that of you being an employee and a salary worker. They are different things. They require different competencies and different skill set. But the point is that you are capable. You are capable of anything that you set yourself to. There is nothing that you cannot do if you choose to do it. Business is for everyone. But there are certain things that you need to be able to psych yourself for first. Okay, and I have videos on such topics. And one video which I'll recommend, which will be in the links, has to do with what we do not tell you until it's too late. In other words, doing business in Ghana and Africa. I have several videos like that. Okay, and in this video, I was as honest as I could possibly be, because I wanted to psych those that will listen to it, to the realities of running and operating a business. It is not for the faint of heart. It is a very difficult journey to embark on, but it's also the most rewarding journey that you can give to yourself and for your children. Okay, so the first step that you need to take and embark on has to do with preparing yourself mentally for what is to come. Make sure you find out why you want to return to the country. You need to know that, and it should be something that you are willing to die for, willing to sacrifice everything for. Your reason should be strong. Your why should be strong, or else when the challenges come, you will run away. And secondly, you need to psych yourself for business. Psych yourself. What does it take to run a business? Trust me, I'm talking about a mental preparation. Mental preparation. Listen to my materials. I can't overemphasize this. Prepare yourself and psych yourself mentally for what is to come. But nevertheless, when it's properly done and you return, you will be so truly blessed. Now, after you have prepared yourself mentally and you have checked your reasons for seeking to return, and after you have psyched yourself for business, because that is the only means by which you can live in this country, you will then pursue the second step, which is also extremely important. This will serve as the foundation for everything that you will do subsequently. You will now plan and schedule a journey back home. Yes, you need to plan. Organize a trip back home to Ghana or to whichever African country that you will want to reside in, preferably Ghana. It should be a trip that you prepare adequately. It is not for pleasure. It is for business. And in this trip, when you are coming, you should also psych yourself in terms of what you are in to do. As I said, it is for business. Business is not you doing what you want to do or trying to bring something that you have seen that works over there here. No. Business is meeting the needs of the ordinary people within the community. So if you plan on having a business within the country, you need to come here and then seek to solve some of the problems within the community that the ordinary Ghanaian faces. The money is truly in doing ordinary things, not complex, exotic things. You don't sit out there and in Europe or in the United States and then over there you then decide what you want to come and do here. Massa, don't try that. You will fail. So once again, I say this thing to you, that you have to come back to the country. And when you come, you should stay for a duration of at least 1 month, preferably 2 months. At least 1 month, but preferably 2 months in Ghana. And when you come, please don't go and stay in the East Legon, West Legon, cantonment, and all this sort of stuff. Please. Like I said, you are coming for business. And finally, I've seen certain, the whites, I've seen them in my community, Teshinungwa, Sprinters, that area. I see them staying around. Yeah, they come, they stay there. They stay with us. I've seen them staying with us. But unfortunately, I see we Ghanaians will return and we want to stay in the East Legon and cantonment and those expensive places. You can do that if you are in for pleasure. That one, no problem. But you are in for business. Okay? And the reason why you are coming in the first place is the fact that you are in to find and identify business opportunities that you can be engaged in. Okay, and for you to identify the business opportunity that you can be engaged in, you need to be with us. You need to be within the community. Live with the ordinary Ghanaians. Yeah, you need to live with us. Okay? So, it's something that you need to psych yourself for. Master, you will never be successful in business if you want to ride on that high horse. There is no one who has been successful in business by riding a high horse and living at the top class. You have to be with the people. It is only then that you'll be able to identify problems and opportunities that you can take advantage of. We have all done that. And I'm here coaching you that when you come, I've stayed on this topic because it is important. Find accommodation within, accommodation within the communities of the ordinary Ghanaian. A reasonable, okay accommodation, and live with the people. And when you come, like I said, it's not for pleasure. This particular trip, like I said, is just meant for you to come out with certain business ideas and things that you would want to solve that will generate regular income for you, that will also solve the needs of the ordinary Ghanaians. So when you come, you wake up in the morning, you do your things and you are done, you just step out. Just walk within the community. Just walk within the community. Just be like the ordinary Ghanaian. And as you live within that community, you begin to see certain things that you yourself you will need. Because you live there and you have certain needs. And you realize that there are some things that are missing. You see certain gaps, certain needs within that community. You begin to also start talking to people. Okay, so let me tell you this. When I was about to start my business, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do a business. And I was just walking around. Those days when I was working in the banking sector, anytime my free time, holidays, or maybe when I'm on break, I just walk around. I look at businesses. I look at the environment, what is needed, what can I do, what problem can I solve within, until eventually I chanced on the business that I am doing. Okay? So I'm saying that when you come and you're living within the community, begin to find out problems that you can solve. Not complex problems, certain basic simple problems that you can solve. And then begin to write them down. Begin to write them down. At least, you should get at least 10 business ideas or models that you want to implement. You can write as many as you want. As you walk around within the community, as you begin to understand Ghanaians, have interaction with them, move from one place to the other, you begin to see certain gaps and needs within the community. You also begin to talk to them. And then when you're talking to them, the point is that when you are serious and you come and you engage and you work within and live within the community, and you are listing issues that by the time you leave, you have several business ideas. And one thing I also want to add to it is the fact that you should not be seeking to solve complex problems, but rather seek and be looking for fundamental and daily needs of the ordinary Ghanaian. Fundamental and daily needs of the ordinary Ghanaian, things that Ghanaians really need and they are willing to pay. Things that when you do will benefit and bring improvement in the day-to-day activities of the Ghanaian, which they are also willing to pay, and they need it on daily basis. These are things you need to pay attention to. So you would have to return back to the country and spend about 1 to 2 months investigating, moving within the community. And after you are fully convinced of the list that you want to come out with, then you return back to the country that you are coming from. Step 3. The first step, as I said, is to prepare yourself mentally for what is to come. The second step is for you to return back home, stay within the community, and come out with business ideas and problems and needs that you'll be able to meet here in Ghana. It's something that you have to do, which is the second thing that you do. So after you have returned back to the country and you have come out with the various business opportunities and needs that you are willing to solve here within the country, you returned. Now the third thing that you do is that when you return back to the United States or Europe or wherever, now you begin to spend reasonable time on the list that you have written down, and you do everything possible to reduce the list to about 3. Reduce that list to about 3. You can have as long as 30 business ideas and things that you think you can work around, 10, 15 or whatever. But over there, stay there, go through those business ideas that you came by, and look at the practicality, the ones you can work around and whatever. But one thing I would say that once you are looking at that, don't be looking at the exotic things once again, the high things that you feel when you do this, you feel good. You go, I'm an American, so I want to do something new. Look at the ordinary things, until you are willing to come low to our level. You will not be making money in Ghana. Okay, so don't look at the big title. Okay, so when you come up with a list, the top 3 that you would want to consider, you note them down, which is the third step that you are taking. And all these things will be happening within 1 year. Okay, in other words, it's going to take 3 years. So within 1 year, you should have prepared yourself mentally and psyched yourself for what is to come. You should have returned back to the country, stayed for about 1 to 2 months, and come out with solutions and problems that you are willing to solve. Then you should have also now reduced that list to about 3 business ideas that you are willing to have a look at. Now, step 4. You now have to really sit down and study about the 3 businesses that you have chosen. You really have to study about them. There is nothing that you need that you will not have on YouTube and online. So the three businesses that you have decided that you want to get yourself engaged in, you need to now start studying about them. And these are businesses that you have come out not by staying in the UK or in Germany or United States. You were business that you came down and you sat, you were within the community and you have come to terms that this is something that when I do, it will benefit these people. Okay, and by that I also make money out of it. They are not exotic things once again. They are things that will meet the daily needs of the ordinary Ghanaians. So you have come out with these three lists. Begin to now study them, all the three businesses. And by studying them, you need to now begin to look at this business, how is it scalable? Because there are some businesses that you cannot scale them easily. When I want scalability of business, how is it possible for you to expand? Okay, for instance, my bakery business that I'm doing, I'm in one location. It's a very small location. Actually, it's a very, very small location that I'm operating. We are working on having a bigger place. Okay, but for now, it's a very small location that I operate the business from. But out of that location, I'm able to attend to communities far beyond my reach. So I just have one shop, and in that shop, I'm able to attend to towns and communities far beyond my reach. That's what's called scalability of a business. But there are some businesses that you cannot easily expand them. If you want to expand them, you have to open another shop somewhere. These are things you need to consider. Is this business really scalable? Is it that easy or is it that hard? These are things you need to consider. The second thing you also need to consider is that you need to put yourself, you need to really look at your position. And when I talk about your position, you are somebody who is not living in this country. You are not living in this country. So you need to run a business that when you are there, you will easily be able to monitor the business. For instance, when you come and decide to open a grocery shop, a supermarket, trust me, it will be very difficult for you to monitor. Why? Because you have a lot of stocks in them. And when an employee takes one item out of it, there is no way you'll be able to monitor these things. So you should go into business that will be very easy. For instance, the bread business that I am in, I'm able to, I don't have to be there. Today we are doing 8 bags, or we are doing 20 bags, or we are doing 15 bags. Okay, when I say we are doing 15 bags, I know I have an expected number of bread that I'm supposed to get from the business. So when they are done and they are finished, I look at the bread quantity that they have. So I'm trying to, and I know records. I have records of my stocks and stuff. All I'm just trying to say is that with such business, it is much easier to monitor and see when there are lapses and when something is happening that is not supposed to happen. So it's something that I also would encourage you to really consider, that this business that I want to do, as good as it is, looking at my situation that I'm not in the country, how will I be able to monitor it? I did a video on the ugly truth about the human resource within this country. Trust me, don't come into business and say that you are going to trust anybody, especially in Ghana. It will not happen. That's the surest way for you to collapse your business. When you come into business with the understanding that you do not trust anyone, irrespective of who the person is, you are guaranteeing yourself of success, because by that you have sacked yourself and then you put measures and strategies into place to prevent it. Okay? So look at the scalability about the business, how easy such a business that you want to do, how easy it will be for you to manage it in your remote place in US or wherever. You should also now begin to look at the knowledge gap in that business that you want to do. There's some business that will require you to know a lot of stuff. There's some business is just plug and play. You can just, 1 week, 2 weeks, you'll be good to go. But there's some business that you will have to spend a lot of time in order to really understand the business, okay, before you start it. So all these are things that issues that you would have to consider before you begin to initiate your business into existence. So now, after you have considered all these things, you will now narrow your decision to just one business idea. And all these things are supposed to happen within 1 year. It should happen within 1 year. By 1 year, like I said, you should psych yourself. You should calm down and come out with business ideas. You should narrow them to three, and then finally you should choose the one business idea that you believe would work and will solve the needs of the ordinary Ghanaians on a daily basis. And it's also a business that will be much easier for you to monitor and monitor it from your remote place, and probably also will be much easier for you to scale. These are things you need to consider, and they should happen within one calendar. We are now moving to the second year. These are activities that you would have to now engage in your second year. Remember, in your first year, you came down once, and after coming down once, you did certain things, and now you have come out with one business idea that you want to engage yourself in. Okay, so the second year, likewise, you plan a trip. It is an all-important trip that you need to plan. Coming down to Ghana, you are not coming for excursion. You are coming for business. Okay? So you plan this trip and you come down. My friend, I talk about the fact that my business and what I am running, I have serious controls and structures in place which enables me to, address lapses and mismanagement as soon as they occur, because I understand the business. I understand the business in and out. There is nothing in the business that I do not understand. Trust me. The one driving my car, I have been the driver of the business before. So I know the ins and the car that the driver is driving, I've been driving it. So I know the ins and outs. I know the issues with the car. I know how much that car consumes. So you will not come and tell me that today you are consuming 200, 300 Ghana, because I have been driving that car. Those who are mixing the bread, I am the one that came out with the recipe. I sat down and developed my own recipe. I came out with the recipe. You are working with systems that I am the initiator of. The one doing the accounting of my business. I am the one that developed the system for her to use to do her balancing and accounting. Why am I saying all? I just want to understand that I understand the business that I'm operating, and whatever they are working with, the systems they are working, these are things that I of myself generated. So there is nothing that will go on in that business that I would eventually not find out. And you can put in whatever system you want. If you do not truly understand the business that you are running in and out, you don't understand it from the top, but you understand it from the ground up. When you're able to do that, trust me, you are guaranteeing yourself of success in business, especially in the context in which we do not trust the workers that we work with. I have said on authority that do not do that. When you do that, you are putting your business at great risk. Don't say that this is my brother, this is my elder, this is my pastor, this is my lawyer, this is whoever. Massa, in business, trust, but verify. So what am I trying to say? I'm saying that in your second year, you will have to come down. And when you come, once again, live within the community. Don't go and live in cantonment and East Legon and the hotels and whatever. Now live within the normal community. But this time around, the business that you have decided that you want to get yourself involved in, assuming you want to sell, let's say, wache, or you want to do bakery business, or you want to do whatever, pure water business, you want to do, there are several business opportunities you want to engage in. There are several Ghanaians who are already doing those business. So I would then advise you to locate a business like that. Yeah, locate one of those businesses and go and study. Yeah, so you will locate one of those businesses and go and study over there. For instance, let's say you want to do a watch. I'm just using, I believe I'm talking to Ghanaians, okay? So let's say you want to do a watch business, which in other words is a food business. You want to do a food business, okay? And I'm saying watch, or you want to be in a kinky business, or you want to be in a bakery business, or whatever. But for this time, let's talk about um, a watch business. You locate someone who is already into that business. You now will go to such a person. When you go, descend from that high horse that you are riding on, because by virtue of the fact that you are in the diaspora and you have returned, Ghanaians will hold you in high esteem, will hold you over there. No matter what, we would want to respect you. But Massa, calm down and let them feel that you are one of them, but rather you are in to learn. Humble yourself to the owner of the business. Humble yourself in the sense that you are in to learn and learn that business, because it's something that you now want to do. So you learn, not forgetting that you have already done research on it. It's not like you are now about to learn everything. You have already sat down and you have done a lot of theory research, but this research are things you have learned online and by talking to people, but these are not physical in terms of practical lessons that you have gained. But now you are coming to look for the actual practical experience of the business that you want to do. So you go and see the madam or the boss of the business and try and convince that person who will gladly take you into his business. And I will begin to teach you the ins and the out of the business. Now this is where my advice comes to you. Do not start learning from the madam or the boss. No, because he will start teaching you things from the top. But rather, talk to the madam that you want to start from the base. And by the base, assuming it's a wachi business, which is a food business, start with the one washing the bowls. Trust me. If you really want to guarantee yourself of success in business and in your transition, follow these steps. Go, look for the lowest, find out, be there, observe. Now this is the lowest among all the rules in your business. Start over there. Wash the bowls with the person. Maybe for a week, the whole week you are washing the bowls. You are the one washing the bowls. Oh no, you wash the bowls. When you come down, dress with kuntaini, find Ghanaian dress and buy and start washing the bowls. After you are done, transition from that place to probably the one sweeping. Sweep that premises. But at this thing I'm telling you, I know why I'm telling you these things, because you will need them, especially those of you without business background. Sweep that premises for at least a week. Whilst you are doing that, it is humbling you in the first place. It's a humbling experience. And you gain certain knowledge that no matter the book that you read, you will never understand. I'll come to the reason why I'm saying you should do these things. Now, after sweeping and washing the bowls, you move on to probably the one cooking, because that's where the most important thing is. You want to know how the wachi food or the whatever food you want to do, you want to know how it is prepared. And as you are doing, you are talking to the people, the one sweeping, the one washing the bowls. Now you are talking, so what are the challenges? You are talking to the person, you want to understand. It's not just you washing the bowls or you sweeping or probably you now going to where the food is prepared. No, you are doing that with them, asking questions. You want to know how the work is like. How do they feel? What are the ins and outs? You want to be like them. No, you should get to a level that they are willing to now open up and tell you things. Because it's the same business that you are going to do. And by you doing that at the onset and talking to them, you understand the needs and how these people feel. Because you are going to manage these people, so you need to know how they feel. and you understand how they feel by you actually also doing the same thing. Master, in my business, I know how the bakers feel. I know how the one who cleans the place feel. I know how the one who mixes the bread, the driver, I know how he feels. When he says something, he's not saying something exotic or unique to himself. I know it because I've been in that role. I know the challenges in that role. I know. Okay? I know. And nobody in that role also feels like I'm disrespecting or maybe it's rude because they know that all the rules that they are functioning in are rules that I of myself are functioning in that role. I know the ins and outs. I can do it anytime I want to do. I'm able to go to the bakery and take a broom and sweep the whole bakery. I'm able to do that because it is my business. It is my business. So if I'm not willing to sweep my business now, who should be willing to sweep that business? And when I do that now, everybody is like, including the manager himself, doesn't feel that he is too big to take a broom and sweep because the boss himself is able to sweep. Okay, so let me not digress. Let me come back to them. So after you have studied the one who is cooking the food, okay, you have learned how the food is done, the ins and outs. Over there, the madam may come and give you some tips, but you have studied how it's done, where they get their items from, their challenges when they cook, their ins and outs, the complaints that comes with the food, how they have come to that level, the ins and outs of how things are done. After you have gotten to know how the day-to-day operation is done, and you have come to terms, you know how things are now done. Now you also now move up and get to the level of the boss or the madam, whoever is in charge of it. It is then that you begin also now to engage the madam. But trust me, whilst you are doing all those things, the boss will be paying attention to you. He will notice, or she will notice you for whatever you are doing, because he will not be expecting that you'll be washing bowls and be sweeping and be cooking. No. So it will show him the extent to which you are serious about what you want to do. So over there, like I said, you'll be staying here for about 1 month to 2 months. And in that time, this is what you will be doing. It should be your sole goal. Now, the one who is doing that business knows the business in and out. It's something you want to do. And more importantly, you have a peculiar situation whereby you are not in the country. So it is there that now you begin to ask the business owner advice. Madam, I want to do this business, but I'm not in the country. I want to establish it. And I want that through this business, I'm able to transition to the country. But I can see you are doing a very good business. I need you to advise me and counsel me. How do I start it? And what are some of the measures that you put in place to ensure that you don't have theft? I know you have been suffering. So how do you go around managing those Ghanaian issues that we face within the country? Because we know you can't trust the workers that you are working, but you have a good business, so you are doing something very good. So can you teach me? I want to learn. Over there, the one in charge will begin to teach you things. A whole of child say, now say na me and I'm really workers so. I do this, I do that, and by that I'm able to manage the workers. For instance, say me a mobile back one. Me expect say omni say me see na I'm a confirm normal na, or when I go for my things now, this is how I do it. The last time I did it this way, it became a problem for me. So based on my experience, this is how I do it. So I would advise you that, especially because you are not in the country, when you initiate it and you go now, do it this way. Okay, by doing this way, you will begin to see that A, B, C, D and stuff, Okay, the point is that the woman will begin to teach you everything you need to know, which you actually need. Okay, so after staying for 1 to 2 months studying the business and taking knowledge at all levels, you now leave and return back to wherever you came. You return back, and when you return back, this is the next thing that you do. You now reevaluate everything that you have learned back here in Ghana and begin to prepare yourself again. Now, in this preparation, let's take it for instance that you came to learn how to do wachi, the wachi business. It is a business, the wachi business. You came to learn how to do the wachi business. So you should understand that whilst you are here within the country and are learning everything within the country, when you close and you go home, you try your hands on, whilst you are in Ghana, you were in Ghana, you should be trying your hands on the food. You should be trying your hands on the food. Because that's what I did. I was trying my hands on the bread. Okay. For me, I did not go for any real training and stuff. Okay, I had to study everything on YouTube. So I had to stay in my room and begin. I had to come out with my own recipe. Okay, so that's how I did mine. But for you, especially because you're in the diaspora, you need to come down and learn from someone who will give you the in and out of the business. So you get to know what to expect. Okay, so whilst you are within the country, you are learning whatever you are learning, the ins and outs. So when you are done and you are gone, everything you learned once again, you begin to reevaluate them. Okay? And prepare yourself for your next trip. And once you are away, whoever taught you the business, stay in contact with the person. Have discussion with the person. Because you are preparing yourself, you are calling, you are discussing things. Now, around what would you advise me? You are in contact with this person, you need to do that. And sometimes you may even seek recommendation from such a person, if it is possible. Okay? You can seek recommendation from the person if it is possible. And I will not advise you that when you're starting a business, you should introduce friends and family into the business. Trust me, it's not the best of ideas. Because business is something that you should be able to do what you have to do. You should be able to hire and fire. You should be able to do what you need to do without attachment and emotions. Okay, but when you have family and friends involved, this is my uncle, this is my my father's brother-in-law and blah blah blah. Trust me, when there are mismanagement and things that you're not happy about, sometimes you struggle to talk about it. And if you don't take it in the long term, it will bring confusion and division within the community. Just imagine you introduce somebody who is your pastor or your pastor's brother or whatever, and the person is not running the business effectively or mismanaging the business. How do you even talk about this issue? So to me, try and get neutral people, okay, that you can monitor, that you can hire and fire, and that you can you can be able to freely do what you have to do. You have to be very nice to the people, but when things come, you have to act. You should be able to act freely without restraints and stuff. Okay, so once you are there, you are in contact with the person, you begin to organize yourself. This organization that you are doing is to prepare yourself for your next trip, because it is in your next trip that you will be establishing the business permanently. And by that, I need you to understand that once you were within the country and you were studying, around that time, you should also now begin to find out, okay, this is the business I want to do. Where do I want to establish this business? In which locality? Who will be my customers? Why am I doing this, and what need am I trying to meet? So you should know where you want to establish the business, because you'll be here for about 1 month to 2 months. You don't have much time. So once you are studying the business from whoever that person is, you are also working your way around it in terms of recipe or whatever you want to do. At the same time, you're also trying to find out in terms of which area you want to rent your shop. Is it a shop that you need? Because it's not every business that you need a shop. If you need a shop, where would you need it? Which location? There are certain businesses that you need certain vantage places. Like my business, I sell a bread and I also retail bread. And with the retailing of my bread, I need to be in certain vantage and specific places. And because of that, I don't use shops apart from the bakery. I use more of tricycles and vans. Because I can park them by the roadside at certain places that I cannot put structures in. These are things that you need to come to terms with. So by the time you are leaving the country, you have an idea of, the business. You also have an idea of where you want to situate the business. Okay, so if you have an idea, you walk around and have a general overview. Okay, so that when you return, you now begin to prepare yourself like I'm talking about. And you are preparing yourself because, fine, this is a business now you want to do. You have gathered all the information now, the information that you need to operate that business. You have also now identified an area that you want to operate the business, that you believe that by doing that business, you'll be able to meet the needs of the ordinary Ghanaian, okay, or whoever your target customers are. You'll be able to meet the needs. Yeah, so it's in the second year, that is when you come down to the country to actually do the physical study of the business and someone who is already into the business. And once you are available within the country, you are also learning everything you can. You are looking at where you can rent and which locality you want to do the business, and you have a general overview. If a shop you need to rent, the things that you need, begin to do research about them, because you need to know, if you want to rent shop, how much is renting shop, how much does it cost in renting shop, you need to know all these things. You want to know how much is it going to cost, where will you get your raw materials from, and these are some of the things you also learn whilst you are understudying the woman. You need to know where you get your raw materials, your customers, and you need to know all these things. So these things will be done within your second year. Now, in your third year, after you have gone there, organize yourself with cash and whatever, in your third year, you come back again, and this time around you are coming to stay for at least 3 months. These things I'm saying, it is a transition that you are doing, okay? And one thing that you will have to pay immensely for is not just with cash, but it has to do with your time, because you want to do it rightly. Okay, so you have to come down here and spend at least 3 months here. So it's something that you have to prepare yourself, taking into account that the first two that you came, it was not anything that was capitally intensive. Now, apart from your plane ticket and where you came to stay and your lifestyle, and when you come, I also advise you that, Massa, come down to our level. Don't come and be taking the Ubers and stuff and normal. Come dress like us. Try as much as possible that people will not even know that you're a foreigner or whatever. Yeah, your accent will give you out, but apart from that, live the normal life. Use our own transportation. You are in for business, because when you are staying in the trotro and stuff now, that's where you begin to know the Ghanaian for what it is, because you have been away for a while. Okay, so come to our level and reduce your cost as much as possible, because you need the money to establish the business. So don't come and waste money by trying to order Ubers and stay in the cantonments and eating the fried rice and whatever. No, come to our level so that you'll be able to succeed in the journey that you're embarking. So it is here that you'll be establishing the business physically. Okay, but you're not returning to the country now trying to figure out things out, because you have been here on 2 previous occasions. So you are familiar with the terrain. You are now familiar with Ghanaians. You already know the ins and outs of what you are about to do. Around that time, you already know the area that you want to do there in terms of rent and do the business. Okay, so when you come, it's like you just settle down and you go straight to whatever you are in to do. Okay, so you just go find a shop at a very good place based on the business that you are doing. You find a shop, you rent it, and trust me, I've done a video on how to start a business in Ghana. There's a video on that. You need to listen to it. Don't start it big, please. Start it as small as possible, because you have not run a business before. You are starting this thing. You don't know how things will turn out. You have done your research, which means you have guaranteed yourself of success to a significant extent. Unlike just coming and, okay, I want to start a business. No, you have done a lot of research, but start it small. Like I said, when you build a business, a very big building, all the business will collapse. Okay, you need to start it small, because it is when you start it small that you get opportunity to grow along the business. Because the moment you start a business, it begins to demand. It will start bringing problems and challenges. When it is small, the challenges will be small. When you build it very big, the challenges will be big. When you rent a very big shop, you have higher rent, which means you also have to hire more workers, which means you have to have, in terms of your suppliers, you need to know that you cannot manage such a business. Trust me, you cannot manage such a business. Okay, as your business begins to grow, structures comes into place, and those structures will organize you to manage the complexities of the problems that will come by your way. Okay, but you are starting, you don't have the structures, so go as small as, forget about the $30,000 $50,000 that you think you are bringing about. Master, you don't need that amount of money to establish a business here in Ghana. Master, you don't need those 30,000, even you don't even need $10,000 to establish a business here in Ghana. You just need something very small. I can't go into a specific goal. I don't know the business that you want to establish, but start it as small as possible. And once you are doing that, you're not doing it in isolation, taking into account that you have already gone to study from someone. So you have somebody that you can get to, okay, that you can call for advice, okay, and try and start small, okay. And so you rent a very small shop, as small as possible, start the business, and be the first employee of the business, begin to run the business. And you have this thing that once you have started these businesses, you're not going to start making profit. So don't start it in 1 week, 2 weeks, you are not really selling, or sales is down, or you're not making profit, and become discouraged. That's why I'm saying that at the onset, you need to prep yourself for what is come. You should know business. This business I'm going to do, this is how it is like. I will need about maybe 3 months, 6 months, 7 months before I begin to break even. These are the challenges of those who have gone ahead of me. The woman you went to learn from, the person has also given you a backdrop. If you have issues, you discuss those issues with the person. But you begin to engage the business one day at a time. One day at a time. And because you are in here for 3 months, okay, usually you will use 1 month to 1.5 months to set the place up. Preferably you should use 1 month to set the place up, but let's say 1.5 months to set, because it's a small business that you want. So let's say 1 month to put the place in order. Okay, then after 1 month you put the place in order. The 2 months you now begin to grow the business. You buy the items that you need to buy into it, or whatever you need to do. You begin the business. One thing will lead to another. One thing will lead to another. So after the first month, you move into the second month, you move into the third month. By the third month, you should now begin to see, some ins and outs of the business. Okay, around that time, you'll be working on getting somebody who would stay and run the business for you. You put the necessary strategies in place. I'll do a separate video on how to put systems and procedures into business to ensure that whilst you are not around, you can effectively monitor your business overseas. This video is primarily designed in terms of to teach you how to transition and bring and establish a business here in Ghana. Separate, because having systems and procedures in place in the business to enable it to run and to prevent mismanagement and whatever, no, it's a separate video on itself, which needs considerable time. So I'll do a separate video on that. Okay, so you establish the physical business, and getting to your second, third months, and you should start beginning to look for someone who would stay behind and manage your business for you. Okay, and that person managing a business, when he or she comes into the business now, he comes and he knows that, master, this is somebody who really understands the business that he's doing. He understands it in and out, because when you come, you employ somebody. You are the one I employ my workers. I'm the one who trains them, because I know everything about the business. All my workers that came, I'm the one who trained them. Okay, I'm the one, when you come out training the accountant, I train the accountant. The one mixing the bread, I'm the one that did the training for the one that makes the bread and all this of stuff. The driver, when he came, I sat down with him in the car. I went around, I showed him how I want him to do his work and stuff. So such a worker knows that this boss, he knows everything in and out. So when you are talking, sometimes they will do something, they will do bread and the number is not up or whatever. I can't say, no, today's bread, the number is, I will not accept it. No, no, I will not. They know that I know the instant. You won't be being family, I say. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, so you establish a business physically, you find somebody who would replace you, you work with the person for some time, teach the person how you want the person. Yes, and it's important. Once the person is working with you, you begin to teach the person how he or she is supposed to run the business. The person is going to work for you, so you have to teach the person. He is not coming to work for himself and do what he wants to do. You teach the person that, okay, I'll be leaving, but this is how I want you to do the work. Okay, when you come in the morning, you check A, B, C, D, and you send me this information. Okay, when you are done and you close now, make sure that you check A, B, C, D, and send me this information. Okay, and once you are there, you begin to train the person in that direction. And there'll be some days that you intentionally not come early, and you are expecting, the person should be doing the thing that you want the person to be doing before you leave, so that the person knows that when I come in the morning, I have to send madam this information, and then when I close, I have to send madam this information. This is how I'm supposed to do this. This is how I'm supposed to do this. You have set the whole grounds for how he or she is supposed to run the business, so that by the time you leave, you have somebody who understands what you need from him or her. And the person should also understand that these are things that you are not going to compromise on. But at the same time, the person should know that you think about her, she's important to you, but nevertheless, what has to be done has to be done. Okay, so when that thing is done and is done properly now, once again, you make sure you have communication with the one that trained you. You should have good relationship. Trust me, you should have good relationship with the one. Assuming I'm the one, okay, assuming I'm the one that trained you in the business, and you let me know that probably you are leaving and then you are going on. But once in a while, you should have an oversight. Of course, from time to time, I'll pass by your business to see what is going on. Or I'll give you a call. Senior, what's going on? The point is that just have a good relationship with the one that trained you. Okay, who will also have a general oversight of the business that you are doing. You are going there to manage your business. Okay, you have a computer. You should have a computer that you manage the stocks and whatever. You should be able to do all those things. But you have a senior madam around who also is within the country, who from time to time, especially when there's a problem, will go there and have oversight of the business for you. And try and be nice to the person as much as you can. Okay, because he's going to, in terms of help you to establish your business. Okay, and now, so after that is done, where your business is now has now been initiated and is in existence, where you have a shop and you have an employee operating the business. I don't know the kind of business, but you have an employee or employees operating the business, and you have started it as small as possible. Once again, I insist, start it as small as possible. And you have the business running, you return back to America or Europe or wherever you came from to go and work. And like I said, the money that you have, you do not invest all that money into the business. Why? Because you want to start it as small as possible. Keep your funds. We don't need 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 to run a business, to start a business here. You just need something very small. Okay? So the rest you keep it. And from time to time, you'll be injecting it gradually, depending on the needs of the business. It's like you giving forth birth to a baby. You have all the food in the whole world. Yes, you have all the food. When you give birth to a baby, you have all the Cerelacs and the formulas that you have for it, but you don't give everything to the baby. You kill the baby. Okay? I have stated in my video, when you give birth to a business, you should know that you have a baby. You don't put you give birth to a baby, then you give the baby all the food in the whole. The baby takes it small. Okay? According to the need. Okay? So you should understand that the resources that you have, you don't put everything into the business. You even collapse the business by doing that. Okay? You put the barely minimum that is required to operate the business. And you now begin to work with the business. As you are working with the business and you are working with your workers now, you begin to see that there will be some small demands. Maybe the month will end, you have to pay them depending on the business. There are some businesses that when you start it, immediately within 1 month, you're able to donate enough money to pay the workers. But if based on the business you are doing, you don't have enough revenue to pay the workers now, then probably you begin to send funds down to pay the workers whilst you are waiting for the business to be self-sustaining. But once again, I have always been insisting that don't go into business that takes long for the business to become to break even. Go for businesses that are easy to break even. The business that moves on day to day. Business that when you start now, within 1 day, 2, 3 days, you start selling. These are things you should be interested in. Don't go into business that it will take you almost about 6 months, sometimes a whole 1 month you are not selling. There's a business that you go into the whole 1 month you will not be selling. Okay, master, that business will not help you. Go into business that will be selling on daily basis. That will be easy for you to manage. That you'll be able to for you to monitor things. Okay, so yeah, so you begin to inject funds into it gradually as the need arrives. Okay, and over there you still continue working. And like I said, you have already putting structures in place. The one working for you knows how how you need things done. Okay, so in the morning the person will send you information. In the evening the person will send you information. You should have cameras within the business that you're operating. There should be cameras, security cameras. Okay, depending on the business and the kind of security cameras that is, so that over there remotely you can constantly see what is going on over there. Okay, yes, so that whilst you're in America you still see what's going on within this country, and in your shop you should be able to monitor that thing. And yeah, so information comes to you from day to day. In the morning we send the information, so you monitor what's going on. In the evening we send the information, you monitor what's going on. You're able to check what's going on the live feed on your cameras. Okay, then you continue your work over there for about 6 months. You continue working over there whilst you're monitoring your business. If there are emergencies you can rush down and come and see it, and just maybe a week you just go. But then if there are no emergencies you can work for maybe 6 months or maybe 3 months depending. Okay, you can work for 3 months and come down, spend about a week, 2 weeks, and see how things are going. Then you go back. And one thing about business, like I said, it's like a baby. As the business begins to remain, if truly this business that you did was designed to meet the needs of the ordinary Ghanaians, you realize that Ghanaians will begin to come to the business because there's something the business is offering that they need. Okay, they will come because they need it. They will come because they need it. Okay, and gradually they'll begin to locate you, and people begin to come to you for services or whatever you are offering. Then gradually the business begins to grow. You will see it. You begin to see the sales will begin to change, and certain patterns in the business begin to change. There will be some demands. As it begins to do that, you also begin to inject more funds into it. You realize that now your trip to Ghana will begin to become more frequent. Maybe every 3 months you're in Ghana. A time will come that you realize that almost every 2 months you're supposed to be in Ghana. A time will come you will notice that. A time will come that now you begin to struggle staying in Europe or in US or wherever. You need to, because there's always constant call. Madam, this customer is saying this. Madam, this customer is saying this. Madam, and the stock is finished. And madam, a customer of the customers will be calling and be giving you pressure because, and you realize that now the business is beginning to demand so much from you that you are struggling, managing it with what you are doing over there. A time like that will always come. It happens to all of us. Okay, someone says, at what time should I transition? The time will come that you realize, you see that Charlie, it's like you're always under pressure to come to the country because there's demand coming from the business and it's distracting you. And you also realize that there is an income that you are generating in the business that will be able to sustain you. When that time comes, you now begin to prepare yourself adequately to engage yourself in a transition. Okay, adequately to engage yourself in a transition. So like I said, the demand begins to increase to a point that you have no option than to return to the country to take care of the business. And secondly, then the business is also generating enough income to meet your needs and to support your lifestyle and to rent whatever apartment you need to rent within the country. The emphasis is not having an apartment. If you have it, fine. If you already have an apartment, fine. But the business should be able to generate enough income to pay for all your bills, pay for your rent, pay for the business expenses, and take care of you, and also has room to expand. And all that money that you have, okay, you return back to the country, you have them in your account, you put to them in investment, whether a term deposit or a treasury bill or whatever. You do those the investment over there. These are monies that you are not going to touch. They are just for emergencies. Gradually, because you started from a small place, the business will be expanding. You open one location, you open another location, your customer base begins to increase gradually out of the business. If you do not already have an apartment, you build your own apartment out of the business and do whatever you want to do. These are practical steps that I have given to you. The transition will take 3 years in terms of from the initiating of the concept to the time that you establish the business. It will take 3 years. Okay, but as in how long it takes for you to return back to the country depends on you and in terms of how quickly the business that you choose decides to pick up. Some business can pick up within a year, 2 years, and they are doing so well that you have to leave and come back and take up the business. Some may take a bit long. Okay, it may take about 3-4 years. You still be making profit, but you would want it to grow to a certain level before you come. It all depends on you. But finally, I'm saying that it is possible. If you're able to do this transition, trust me, your business will offer you things that you will not be able to offer yourself. You will be offering yourself freedom. Right now, you are not as free as you think. It was when I left my corporate work that I realized how free that I am. Master, there is some freedom that you will never have until you have your own business. Okay? So I would encourage you to think about these things and begin to put steps in place so that your transition becomes effective. Finally, I would encourage you to like and subscribe to this channel. A lot of effort has gone into the creation of this video, and the least you can do to support this channel is for you to subscribe and like. And I'll also be very happy that you share it with your colleagues and your friends. Okay, so that we help this channel grow. Things of value like this will continue to be shared to us. I would also encourage you to like and comment. Let me know your opinion. If you have any comment, please feel free and comment down below. Until then, see you in our next video. In our next video, I'm going to share with you how to put systems in place. How to put system in place to ensure that your business becomes successful. How to put systems in place to ensure that your business is successful. Okay, so this business is not about systems, it's about the step-by-step steps that you can take to initiate and establish your business within this country. But the next video that I'll be sending will be to give you a detailed plan on how to put in, systems and procedures and policies that would guarantee the success of your business, so that if there are mismanagement or whatever, you'll be able to see it, identify it, and resolve it immediately. See